How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today's going to be a Grand Arena matchup against Torrid Zone 17 here. And we're actually in round 1 and we're back to 5v5, which is pretty awesome. Been looking forward to this for a while, been getting sick of 3v3. So having a look at the stat sheet here, he's got 6.9 million GP, so about 800k more GP than I've got. We're pretty matched up in terms of relics, fairly close in terms of banners as well, although I do have the edge on the lifetime banners. And I have the edge in terms of rounds as well. He does have the edge in Zetas, and he has a Kylo that doesn't have the ultimate currently. And having a look at the mods here, it's quite rare to see, but I've got a massive edge in terms of speed mods. And he's got a couple of better mods in terms of offense. So overall should be quite an exciting matchup here, guys. He has double GLs, and I believe he does have Luke as well. And looking at the stats, he's got a solid amount of offensive wins. As well as defensive holds. So he does have Luke at Relic 5. He does have double GLs. His Kylo doesn't have the ultimate, and it looks like he has begun his attack. Looking at his defense here, he's got a Rey at the bottom, he's got a Bosk lead. Just having a quick look at the mods of this, the resistance heroes here. He also decided to place BB-8 and Jedi Training Rey. At the top we've got Bugs, we've got Kylo Ren. The 3 Kylo Rens in that team actually. So to kick things off, since we're pretty excited to be in 5v5 again, we're going to be utilizing our soft counters here. And this is a counter that I haven't used in a long time. So fingers crossed, guys, that this works out. I have modded these Jedi to be really fast, and I will outrun these resistance heroes. So I'm going to place this Master's Training onto Gas, and I'm going to try and proc that damage immunity as quickly as I possibly can. So damage immunity is officially procced. We're losing a ton of protection on Gas. However, it looks like we're still okay here. We're going to place a couple of Dazes out on the field. Rey is really fast, so she took a turn. And we almost procced Savior on Gas. And look at that, Rey is done. So now we're going to try and regain as much health and protection as we can. So the things to think about here is, would this have worked if that Rey had a ton of health as opposed to speed? And would this have worked if they modded their team in the conventional manner, which is having a really fast resistance hero Finn and having a ton of damage on resistance hero Poe? As we had a look at the beginning of the video, it looks like they modded both for a decent amount of speed, although his Finn didn't hit the 300 mark in terms of speed. So at this point, I'm just looking to proc the damage immunity on Finn here, while trying to regain as much protection as I can on my team. So we get rid of Finn here. And now we're going to target Poe. Poe is down. And it looks like we're not going to be able to get that protection back on Jedi Knight Revan, so we've got the win for 59 banners there. And the second matchup we're going to do is we're going to be battling against that Kylo Ren right off the bat. Just get those two Galactic Legends out of the way. And this is one of the most recent counters that I have made a video on as well, as I found it quite effective. Although in comparison to the previous counter that I did against Rey, this actually requires a solid mix of characters from different factions. So this is the downside, and we're going to be using Thrawn in this team as well. We're going to stun Hux quickly. And surprisingly, the Brute survives the second ability from that Kylo, as typically Kylo would have enough damage to just destroy that Brute. Now we've got Shock on Kylo Ren Unmasked, so we don't really have to Dispel at this point. So I did opt to just try and regain protection and health on the Brute. And now we're going to apply more shock on Kylo Ren Unmasked, ensuring that he doesn't gain a taunt. And now we want to get rid of this Red Trooper here. So we don't want to use Force Storm there, as we might lose Hux and give Red Trooper an extra turn. So that counterattack gets rid of Red Trooper. And now we can actually go for Hux in the back. Apply more shock onto Kylo Ren Unmasked. Feed this turn onto Darth Revan and apply more fear on the field. And as you can see, this Kylo Ren is pretty tanky, as it's taking a bit of time to actually get rid of his health and protection here. He's also pretty fast. And we're getting pretty close to getting rid of this Kylo Ren. I remodded Darth Revan here to apply optimal damage, as I didn't really need as much speed on him as such. However, I did need the speed on Bastila Shan. And as you can see, she's taking a ton of turns here and applying a ton of fear out on the field, as well as shock. And we almost lose Han Solo here, so I actually gave that turn to Geo Brute Alpha so we can get our Brute back out on the field. Then apply more fear. And it looks like Han Solo is the only character that's missing health and protection. So that's another solid, effective counter to Kylo Ren there, guys. At the bottom, we've got Bosk here. And looking at the other bounty hunters surrounding Bosk, they're predominantly Gear 12. However, I do believe that Jedi training Rey with the droids should do the trick. We've got a ton of speed on our characters here, and we've got a ton of droids on the field, so it's going to be really difficult to outrun BB-8 in this case. We're going to place Confuse onto Bosk, and we're going to get rid of Cad Bane here early on. Gonna pop that Expose and apply more Expose and Burning. And it looks like Jango is just about to take a turn, So we're gonna try and get rid of Boba. Or rather get rid of the Bounty Hunter's Resolve. Boba's about to take a turn, so we're gonna wave that turn meter. Try and stun this Bosk. He's got a decent amount of tenacity. At this point we've got full control of this team. And the only real threat here was Django, as he was Relic 7. So as long as I've got a decent amount of control. The only problem is that Dengar actually threw those grenades. And it's gonna be troublesome to recover the protection that the grenades took away. Which is quite unfortunate. I was trying to get to BB-8's Illuminated Destiny. However, I did a ton of damage there. About 30k. So I'm going to take those 56 banners that I get. In the back walls we've got Night Sisters and Newt Gunray. So over at the top here guys, we've got Bugs, and we're going to be utilizing our Sith Triumvirate. As we've got predominantly Gear 12 Bugs. Got Ability Block on Traya. And as you can see, their protection is pretty low at this point. We're going to isolate the Brute in the back and pass this on to Nihilus. And I did try to drop that Geo Soldier, that basic, on Nihilus. And this ability here should drop a couple of bugs. Second ability on Traya should drop Geobrid Alpha. And I didn't really have to use the Annihilate there, as I was able to drop that final bug with a basic. And looking at our offensive teams, we actually still have a fair bit on offense. And I did want to see what ship he had for me sitting in the back. So as you can see guys, utilizing those soft counters against those Galactic Legends has left me with broken up teams with no leaderships. So I did have Grandmaster Yoda, so I used him under this Padme lead. We're just going to do basics here, get some retribution up, use that AoE, gain a bunch of courage stacks. We've got 12 courage stacks to get rid of that scoundrel there. And get rid of L3 with that basic. And we're just slowly getting rid of these scoundrels one by one. Pretty straightforward and easy. So he's got a Negotiator on defense, and as it looks like, he hasn't started attacking my Malevolence as of yet. We do still have Vader and Wat Tambor, so I utilized this team for this Night Sister counter. And we do have Wampa at Relic 3 as we're getting ready for Luke Skywalker. So to begin with, we're going to pass the weapon tech on to Darth Vader. Watambor takes another turn here, pass the Bactoid shield on to Malik. I'm going to spread some dot points here. And let's get rid of Asajj Ventress. And old Daka on a basic there as well. So Talzin's the only one that survived the initial onslaught. And now we're gonna have to deal with this AoE ability. And we still have the Chawab med pack, so we pass that on to Wampa. And the dot points actually drop Mother Talzin there. Culling Blade on Spirit does 240k damage. And we did save Rey for offense, just in case. We're going to pass Lifeblood onto Finn, and we're going to try and quickly get rid of Droideka here in the back. We got a stun, and we're going to throw this grenade and drop Droideka and Watambor. So Watambor was able to get the Bactoid shield onto Newt Gunray. And the other thing that I misplayed here was that I used 5s as opposed to Barriss. I typically like to place Barriss Offee with Rey, and the reason behind it is that I can regain the health back with Barriss's healing. And we've lost a fair bit of protection on 5s here as well. So it looks like we've got a little bit of health missing from Rey and a little bit of protection missing from 5s. We use that ultimate ability on Newt, he revives. And we're just gonna do a basic here. 458 banners. So we were missing some protection on 5s and some health on Rey, which is pretty solid banners overall. I'm quite happy with the banner count. And I won't trouble you with this particular ship matchup. However, I will show you the result, as negotiator mirrors can go a couple of different ways. I find that having Rex on the team is actually huge, as you're able to regain a ton of your protection that you may lose. And I find that negotiator mirrors are actually better in terms of banners, rather than going against the Malevolence. As you can see towards the end, I've still got a good number of ships out on the field. I'm going to try and regain a little bit more protection on Bosk there for 63 banners, which is pretty efficient considering it's a negotiator mirror. So the final score is 1925 to 1170. Although I'm unsure whether my opponent has stopped attacking or is waiting on me to finish my offensive turn. And having a look at my defense here, obviously I've got the Malevolence ship there in the back. And in the top section here, we've got Finn lead, Palpatine lead, and Bosk, which he one-shot fairly easily. And he's attempted about 5 battles on the Kylo Ren here. And he did have Luke, so presumably he utilized Luke and it didn't work against my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. In the back walls was still a Newt and a Grievous waiting. And he hasn't attacked my Malevolence fleet. Looks like he'll be dealing with a Malevolence mirror matchup as he utilized his Negotiator on defense. So overall, really exciting GAC to start off with and to kick off 5v5. Hope you liked the content today, guys. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe as per usual. And I will see you on the next one.